Hi everyone, good afternoon. This is Pravakar. Thanks to watching my video. So in the today's video, I will give you the understanding of the what is the basic difference between RAG and the agentic RAG. Before understanding the RAG, I will give you the we'll discuss like what is the GNA application and how GNA application can be using along with the simple use case. So here in the first diagram, you will see like user will be asking the query using the prompt. So prompt basically it is an instruction given to that LLM. LLM large language model. It contains any type of model which has been trained on the billions of parameters. So we can see like we have a few models available. Or many more models are there. So one of them, those are GPT, Cloud, Gemini. So for the simple examples, like if user is asking query like what is the capital of India? So this type of information is available in the LLM. LLM has been trained off this information. So LLM will provide the answer like that capital of India is Delhi. So you can see like to generate this output, LLM is not interacting with any third-party database or any APIs because LLM understand like this information is available in his database, in his trend data, and LLM will provide this response to the user. So this is the example of the Gen AI application where LLM will be interacting with the trend data to provide the answer to the user. Now, coming back to traditional RAG. So RAG basically stands for the retrieval, augmentation, and the generation of the output. So when we convert this use case or this use case to traditional RAG, so in the if user is asking the query through the chatbot, like what is the current leave policy of this company? So this type of information is entitled with the company database, company information. So this is not trained in the LLM. So what happens like this query will be we will implement vector database. You will see like vector database we will implement. And in the vector database, all the related company policy documents will be stored in a chunks in a embedded format in the numeric format so that it can be retrieved in a semantic way. Okay. So whenever user asks the query like what is the leave policy of the company, so this query will be embedded and it will search in the vector database of those chunks and top chunks will be retrieved, and this will be as a context. It will come and this context will be added to the prompt with the query, and it will send to the LLM to generate the response. So in this way, your result will not hallucinate, and all those answers will be provided to the user, and it will not hallucinate because we are not directly dealing with the LLM. Instead, we are dealing with the company database, that is vector DB, where all those company information or documents related policy related documents are stored. So it is getting the context, sending the augmented that context along with the query to LLM. What LLM is doing here, LLM will summarize the output along with the context it is taking from the vector database where company documents has been stored. So here you will see like the difference between this Gen AI application and the traditional RAG. So RAG will take the third-party database to provide the output. Now, coming back to the agentic RAG. Okay, so in the traditional RAG, you have seen like the RAG stands for the retrieval, augmentation, and the generation. So retrieval part was to get the context from the vector DB, vector database. Augmentation means like it will that context along with the query, it will be augment as a prompt to give this information, this instruction to the LLM. That is the augmentation, and generation means like whatever the output it is generating from the LLM based upon those context in the query. Now, coming back to agentic AI, agentic RAG. So, agentic RAG, it is the main difference between the traditional RAG and the agentic RAG is like traditional RAG typically used for that simple query. Like here, company policy was the simple query. All those documents, we know like answer of those query are available in that third-party database. We get the database and send it output to the user. Now, for that, agentic RAG basically will be used for the complex queries, where for the examples, if user is asking the query, what is the company's travel reimbursement policy, and what is the mileage rate change recently. So you will see that this query is a combination of two subqueries, right? So in the one query, first query will basically dedicated to that company documents, company information, where all those means leave travel reimbursement details will be available in that company database. And second query basically that mileage rate change, that is the related with the government regulation changes. So that is the will be live searches or from the web we can get this information. So for that, the information which is available in the company database, we will use the vector DB. So the many we can use more than one vector DB or related to that queries, whatever the queries we are getting, and these are called as the retrieval tool, and the API is basically to get the document from the web search, right? That is the Brave search API will be used to get the live data from the um, from the internet. Okay, so how this will be decided? Like which one will be used? Vector DB, is company database, or we can use the API. So we create the agent. So LLM is not only to generate the response. Instead, LLM will be used to create the to find out like to create the agent, and agent will decide like based upon that query whether this query will be used, this answer of this query will be in the company database, third party database, or from the API search. Once we get the output from company database, uh, that context will take, and that context will be added to the query as a prompt and send it to the LLM. Okay, LLM will give that summarize the output, the result, and that result will be sending to the user. So here you will see like the main difference, this is the overview, basically the difference between the traditional RAG and the agentic RAG. So main difference, what we are seeing, like the if we have a simple query where we get the data or get the answers from the company database and sending the generate the response to the user. For that query, this type of query, we can use the traditional RAG. Agentic RAG basically will be used for the complex queries where more than one vector DB will be used, or APIs can be used to get the data, and then it will sending response to the user. So this basically this is the overview of like the basic understanding what is the Gen AI application, what is traditional RAG, what is agentic RAG. So I okay so. If you get any queries or questions, just type in the comment box and let me know like what are the other details you want to know related to this topic, so that I will clarify. I will do the more clarification in the next video, and next time I will come up with some few new topics on the artificial intelligence. Thank you as of now. Yeah.